For over 2,000 years, the final resting place of Cleopatra, Egypt's last queen, has been one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Which, in an age where you can find out what your high school lab partner had for lunch in zero point 0.2 seconds, is really saying something. Legends whisper of a tomb overflowing with unimaginable treasure, all protected by a nasty curse just waiting to ruin your day, your career, and probably your Wi-Fi connection. Generation after generation of explorers has tried their luck, and every single one has failed. The Egyptian sands have guarded their secrets very well, like paranoid billionaire with a private island, well. But now, after centuries of hitting nothing but sand, more sand, and the occasional disappointed scorpion, one archaeologist believes she's found a clue that could finally blow this mystery wide open. A massive secret tunnel. A geometric miracle has been discovered, and it might just lead us to the lost tomb. But the quest is turning out to be far more complex and a whole lot soggier than anyone ever imagined. Pack a snorkel.
Section 1. The Legend of the Lost Tomb. To understand why everyone is so obsessed with this tomb, you have to understand the woman at its center. Cleopatra VII wasn't just a queen. She was a force of nature, part CEO, part military commander, and 100% icon. She probably would have had a killer LinkedIn profile with thousands of endorsements. As the last of the Ptolemaic dynasty, her life was a constant high-stakes drama of love, war, and a desperate fight to keep her kingdom free from the ever-expanding Roman Empire. It was basically a reality show pilot on steroids, and it would have been renewed for 10 seasons. Her story, and her kingdom's, came to a tragic end in 30 BCE. After a crushing naval defeat against their rival Octavian, both Mark Antony and Cleopatra chose suicide over the humiliation of being paraded through Rome as prisoners. Ancient historians like Plutarch tell us that Octavian, their sworn enemy, actually granted their final wish, to be buried together, in splendor, in a magnificent tomb they had already prepared. And then, poof, the historical record just ghosts us. We're talking 2,000 years of read receipts left on with no reply. The location of this grand monument to one of history's most epic love stories simply vanished. Was it destroyed in an earthquake? Was it intentionally hidden? Or was it just forgotten? For 2,000 years, the question has haunted everyone. Where in the world did they hide the bodies? Section 2. The Protagonist and Her Quest. To answer that, you have to meet the woman who has dedicated her life to the search. Dr. Kathleen Martinez is a Dominican archaeologist, but she didn't come to this hunt through traditional Egyptology. She approached the mystery not as an Egyptologist, but as a criminal lawyer cracking a 2,000-year-old cold case. Her suspect, history itself. For nearly 2 decades, she has led an ambitious search for the final resting place of Egypt's last queen. While most experts figured the tomb was lost forever under modern Alexandria or sunk in the Mediterranean, Martinez had a different idea. Her research pointed to something everyone else was seriously underestimating: Cleopatra's intense religious devotion. Cleopatra didn't just rule like a pharaoh. She presented herself as the living incarnation of the goddess Isis. It was central to her brand. So, Martinez reasoned, wouldn't Cleopatra want her final resting place to be in a temple dedicated to her divine counterpart, Isis? Her search led her to a crumbling, windswept ruin about 28 miles west of Alexandria, the ancient temple of Taposiris Magna. Founded by one of Cleopatra's ancestors, the temple was dedicated to Osiris and his wife, Isis. For Martinez, this was the spot, a sacred place where the queen, as Isis, could be laid to rest with her beloved Antony, who was often linked with Osiris. It was a long shot, the kind of theory that gets you more than a skeptical side-eye at academic conferences. We're talking full-on, bless your heart,
glares.
Section 3. The hunt begins. Digging into the past. Starting in 2005, Dr. Martinez and her team began the painstaking work of excavating Taposiris Magna. The challenges were enormous, but almost right away, the ground started giving up clues that supported her theory. The team uncovered a vast necropolis filled with Greco-Roman-style mummies. This was huge news. It proved that high-status people were being buried here right around Cleopatra's time. This wasn't just some forgotten backwater. This was the hot new postcode for the recently deceased elite. Then came a more direct link. A hoard of over 300 coins, many stamped with the face and name of Cleopatra VII herself. This wasn't just a hunch anymore. It was cold, hard, cash money proof that this temple was important during her reign. As the years went on, more discoveries piled up. They found statues of Isis and burial shafts, and even 2 mummies covered in gold leaf, a seriously blinged-out status symbol reserved for the absolute elite. The team also found foundation deposits proving the temple was a major center during her rule. More recently, a white marble head of a royal woman and a limestone bust were found. Martinez believes the marble head could be Cleopatra, a claim that other experts are politely suggesting looks less like the Queen of the Nile and more like a high-end souvenir a rich Roman brought back from his gap year. Still, every discovery was another breadcrumb, pushing the team deeper. Section 4. The breakthrough? A secret tunnel revealed. And then, they found something that stunned the archaeological world. Buried 43 feet underground, Martinez's team uncovered a massive tunnel carved right out of the bedrock. It stretches for nearly a mile and stands about 6 feet high, an absolutely astonishing feat of ancient engineering. Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities called it a geometric miracle, which is bureaucrat speak for, how in the world did they do that? This wasn't just some ancient sewer pipe. Its incredible scale suggested it had a profound, hidden purpose. Dr. Martinez's theory is that this was the VIP entrance, a secret passage used to bring Cleopatra's body to a hidden burial chamber deep beneath the temple, keeping it safe from enemies and tomb robbers. It was the ultimate archaeological good news, bad news situation. The good news? We found a secret passage that might lead to the most famous lost tomb in history. The bad news? It's now an unauthorized, extremely historically significant swimming pool. Centuries of earthquakes and the rising sea have flooded the coastal site, filling the very passages that might lead to the tomb. The next phase of the search has to go underwater, which means trading shovels for scuba gear and a very optimistic attitude. Section 5. The Curse and the Controversy. Of course, you can't talk about a lost Egyptian tomb without bringing up the fun part. A curse. The idea that a deadly spell protects Cleopatra's tomb is a powerful part of the legend, stemming from the real ancient practice of putting written threats on tombs to scare off thieves. But here's the funny thing. There's no historical record of a specific curse on Cleopatra's tomb. It's hard to get spooked by a keep out sign when the sign itself has been missing for 2,000 years. The curse is basically centuries of spooky campfire stories fueled by the mystery. The real challenges aren't supernatural. They're scientific and political. While Dr. Martinez is certain she's on the right path, other top Egyptologists are still skeptical. Zahi Hawass, one of the most famous Egyptologists in the world, has basically said, "Nah, I'm not buying it," arguing there's no conclusive evidence the tomb is there. And that marble head? Other scholars think it has more of a Roman tourist vibe than an Egyptian queen one. This academic back and forth is just how science works. It's basically a peer-reviewed roast. Section 6. Why is the tomb still hidden? So, with all our modern tech, why is the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony still lost? The reasons are a messy cocktail of Mother Nature being a jerk, ancient political trauma, and the job being ridiculously, soul-crushingly hard. First, the geography. The Egyptian coast has been absolutely hammered by earthquakes and tsunamis over the centuries, causing huge parts of ancient Alexandria to just slide into the sea. It's entirely possible the tomb is now deep underwater, buried under centuries of silt. Second, the politics. When Octavian conquered Egypt, he might have just smashed the tomb to bits to erase his rivals from the history books. Or he could have sealed it and hidden the key so well that he accidentally lost it forever. The tomb's security system might have worked a little too well, locking out not just robbers, but literally everyone for the next 2 millennia. It's the ultimate forgot password fail, and there was no send security code to my papyrus scroll option. And finally, there are the massive archaeological hurdles. Digging a site like Taposiris Magna is incredibly slow and expensive. Exploring those flooded tunnels requires specialized teams and technology. The tomb could be just yards away, but locked behind a collapsed ceiling or deep inside a flooded chamber they just can't get to. Yet. It's history's most frustrating game of you're getting warmer. The search for Cleopatra's tomb has always been about more than finding gold. It's a quest to find the final chapter for one of history's most fascinating figures. The work of Dr. Kathleen Martinez and her team has brought us closer than ever before. That massive, waterlogged tunnel has provided a tantalizing roadmap, but it leads into darkness. The tomb has not been found. The curse, real or not, is still undefeated, and currently has a better winning streak than any sports team in history, and it doesn't even need a mascot. But for the first time in millennia, the path forward seems just a little bit clearer. The mystery of what lies at the end of that submerged tunnel is what keeps everyone hooked. Will they find a burial chamber? Or will they discover the answer was swallowed by the sea long ago? If you want to be there the second they pull a golden sarcophagus, or maybe just a really old bucket, out of the mud, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. The moment they find something, you'll be the first to know.